afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the College2Career Fair's virtual college exploration for California students. Just as a reminder and some housekeeping items while we're all joining into this session, you will have the opportunity to sign up for additional sessions through the website college2careerfairsconnect.org. This session is being recorded. The recording will be available at the end of the college fair. So if you would like to watch and explore any of the other sessions that you may have missed, we will be posting all of the sessions on college2careerfairsconnect.org's website. Your camera and microphone for today's session will be turned off, but you do have the Q&A available for you so that you can ask any questions of our presenter from Adelphi University. So please make sure that you are using the Q&A button to ask any questions of our presenter. At this time, I would like to turn it over to Michael from Adelphi University. Michael, please take it away and start our webinar this afternoon.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. So my name is Michael Cartusiello. I am an Associate Director of Admissions at Adelphi University. I've actually been with the university this is my 6th enrollment cycle, so I've been doing this for a little while. Pretty knowledgeable about all things Adelphi and the college process in general, and honestly, I'm really excited to talk to you all today. Kind of specialized as well as recruiting out-of-state students, so definitely can speak to what it would be like coming across the country and going to college in New York. So without further ado, we can get going. Here at Adelphi, we really feel that we are a student-focused institution. Truly, it feels like your journey, your 4-year, potentially longer college journey can start here. We care about our students. We want to know about you. We want you to feel comfortable here. And some fast facts we can go over. We have a genuine average class size of 21 students. A lot of schools may talk about having an average class size of 21, 25, but you'll still find yourself in a lecture hall of 200 students or larger your first year in college. Adelphi will never have that. The largest class you will possibly see is actually only 50, and that's very, very rare. We do what we can to cap a class at 30 or 35, which allows you to get to know your professors. It allows you to be a lot more than just a name or a number. You will feel comfortable asking questions in class. You will be engaged in class. This is not for that type of student who kind of wants to go fall asleep in the back of a lecture hall and maybe just read their textbook on their own. This is an engaging, exploratory learning environment. So we have that genuine average class size of 21, but at the same time, we have over 5,000 students here at Adelphi. So you have plenty of people to get to know. It's not a tiny school. It's a medium-sized liberal arts institution. And we are in Garden City, Long Island, so it is a suburban campus. I have a virtual backdrop of kind of our landscape here. So you can see it has that typical college feel, trees, greenery, quads, that gorgeous campus environment. But we're also only a 40-minute train ride, just 20 miles outside of New York City. So we have a lot of diversity on campus. We have 43 different states represented, and we have lots of people to get to know, as I mentioned, and a very active campus as well. 2 out of every 3 students are involved in some form of club or organization. So it's just a fun feeling overall. The thing I want to highlight most before moving on to our next slide here is that 95% of our students are either employed or in graduate school within 6 months of graduation. That's huge. There are a lot of reasons to go to college, but possibly the most major one is to make sure you are taking those next steps in your life and to get you to that career or to graduate school. And the fact that 95% of our graduates are actually doing that is a really big deal. So in addition to all of these, students and small class sizes, we still also have over 50 different academic programs you can choose from to study. And so that's something else that our students really benefit from, is having the opportunity to study in a wide variety of interests, not just a School of Nursing and Public Health, but the fact that you can study communications and computer science, or maybe you are a performer or a visual artist and you want to work on your art, but maybe only as a minor in photography or graphic design, but you still want to have your major in marketing in our School of Business. You can absolutely do that. So to kind of reiterate a little bit more, going through the College of Arts and Sciences, that absolutely houses our widest variety of majors, everything from hard sciences like biology and chemistry to those performing arts I mentioned like dance, theater, but also computer science, mathematics, philosophy, political science, sociology, English, really a lot of different programs. Then we have our College of Education and Health Sciences. So we have a program that helps our students become a teacher and be certified and complete their master's degree in 5 years instead of 6. And it's called STEP, the Scholar Teacher Education Program. It's housed in College of Education and Health Sciences. So you will absolutely find some education classes there, but you'll also find with health sciences, pre-physical therapy tracks and exercise science, as well as a physical education program, communication sciences, and disorders, kind of setting students up potentially for a career in speech pathology. Then separately, we have a School of Psychology and we have a School of Social Work. So we also have a neuroscience program, and I have a psych background, so I really appreciate that we span the entire spectrum of the broader field of psychology. You know, our School of Psychology focuses a lot more on clinical psychology, but in terms of working with humans and human services and helping people, a lot of helping professions, you may want to study the social and environmental factors that affect human behavior in our School of Social Work, or maybe you're more drawn to the brain chemistry piece that goes with neuroscience. But at Adelphi, you have the opportunity to explore all of those fields before you kind of pick your niche and where you want to study. Additionally, as I mentioned earlier, we do have a School of Business, and our proximity to New York City, it comes in huge when we talk about this school. We also have a photo on this slide of our stock room that is on campus that students get to train in. And also there are a lot of internship opportunities. So you can have access to a major city, possibly the best city for business in this country, but still have the typical college experience with the greenery and the trees and campus feeling. Again, really great, easy train access. And a lot of our faculty are still connected to the companies in Manhattan and New York City and on Long Island. So really helping make those connections with that 10-to-1 student faculty ratio, setting students up for these internships. And last but certainly not least, we have our College of Nursing and Public Health. Nursing is absolutely our most popular major here. It is very much a hands-on program, and a couple of highlights are that it's still direct admit. What that means is another school may make you apply to the general university at large, and students would start taking prerequisites, and about midway through they have to take a test in order to earn a place in the particular nursing program, which is typically about 2 years. We consider our nursing program to be all 4 years of your college experience. So if you're accepted as a first-year student, you are guaranteed a spot in our nursing program in all 4 years. You will start in lower division nursing, where you're doing general education requirements and science prerequisite courses, but then you get to transition seamlessly into upper division nursing, where you are working in one of 10 of our state-of-the-art simulation labs at any given time. These have lifelike mannequin robots that are very, very cool. Honestly, they're so lifelike they gross me out a little bit. I don't want to be a nurse. I don't really like blood, but that's just one of these really cool benefits of the hands-on experience you're going to get here. It's just that realistic. We additionally have some great clinical rotations and partnerships with hospitals all across Long Island and New York City. So we partner with Northwell Health as well as NYU Winthrop. So we have several signature programs. The Honors College is very much humanities based, and it is absolutely for that higher achieving student. Then Livermore Global Scholars is for students who are particularly passionate about social justice, global awareness, and community action. This program, we actually have faculty fellows that work at the United Nations, and because Adelphi has non-government organization status, our students are actually able to intern at the United Nations, which is a really big deal. Both the Honors College and Livermore Global Scholars take our tight-knit community and give you an even tighter space to really connect with faculty and other students of a similar mindset. So they both replace your general education requirements. You can do them in addition to any major or minor, both. And it's great because, again, these are all, the classes you take for that are much more discussion based. They're smaller. The average class size is genuinely for these programs 10, 15 students. They want you to have that more intimate feel to really discuss whether it's humanities and Western philosophy in the Honors College, or discuss global politics, globalization, all things with a global perspective. And so again, both work for anything, whether you want to become a doctor and show that you're an Honors College worthy student, or maybe go on to do Doctors Without Borders one day. These are great programs to add to your resume. Additionally, we have many 4+1 programs. So as if it wasn't enough to think about how you have to go to college and get your 4-year bachelor's degree, a lot of professions are looking for master's degrees as well. Typically, a master's degree would add another 2 years onto your college experience. So having a 4+1 program is going to really help you accelerate through. What we do is we have that for business. So if you want to get your MBA, you can get your bachelor's plus your master's in only 5 years. We have it for psychology. We have it for social work. We now have that for computer science, for mathematics, as well as nursing, and of course our education program. So something else Adelphi is really well known for are its support programs. In general, students with learning differences do really, really well at Adelphi because of that 10-to-1 student-faculty ratio and that small class size I was talking about earlier. Being able to really connect with your faculty and having a smaller classroom size makes it easier to advocate for yourself, to ask questions, and to not feel intimidated when you want to attend a professor's office hours and you're not competing against so many other students. You have that ability and you have room to really advocate for yourself. Additionally, if you need any type of accommodations, our student access office helps provide those accommodations included in the cost of tuition. It is free with tuition. You don't have to pay anything extra just to get accommodations. Separately, we have 2 fee-for-service programs. One is called Bridges to Adelphi, and this is for students who are on the autism spectrum. And the other is our Learning Resource Program, and this is for students with language-based learning disabilities as well as ADHD. Now, both of these programs provide that higher level of service. Our students get to meet in one-on-one settings with additional professionals, whether academic or social, just to help with transition to college, as well as working through learning differences. Happy to definitely answer more questions about both programs when we get to our Q&A portion. So another big thing we have is we have a lot of joint degree programs. So unlike the 4+1 programs where you're getting 2 degrees at Adelphi, all of these programs, we partner with other institutions. I like to just point out that this shows all of the prestigious institutions that appreciate the Adelphi education and have spaces waiting for Adelphi students. Additionally, if you want to, say, become a doctor, but you are not interested in any of our medicine joint degree programs, you can still do the pre-med track we have laid out that accompanies our joint degree programs. You can still work with the same advisors, the pre-professional advising office, that will help you and have that advisor in your corner at working towards applying to the medical school of your choice, or maybe the law school of your choice. Some of these programs are early assurance, like NYU Dentistry. It does allow 10 students for us each year to have a guaranteed interview with NYU Dentistry. NYU Dentistry has also not rejected a single student of ours in over 10 years, so it's essentially guaranteed, but that's why it's early assurance. You're assured it's there, not necessarily guaranteed. Additionally, we have some programs like our engineering program where it all depends on how you do at Adelphi. So there's no pre-selection before applying. We have advisors that work with you and lay out what you would need to accomplish while at Adelphi. And the agreement is if you meet a certain GPA and a certain curriculum, you are then guaranteed a spot at Columbia Engineering, which is pretty cool. Again, happy to take questions about specific programs because all of these details can vary. At the end, there's also going to be my contact information or the office's contact information. So for any of you watching this recording, you are welcome to reach out to us and ask a specific question later. So Panther Life. I mentioned earlier how 2 out of every 3 students are involved in some form of club or activity. Adelphi Life is pretty fantastic. The Panthers here, they love their community. It's definitely a tight-knit community. There are over 80 active clubs to join, participate in, and we have about 25% of our student body that actually lives on campus. We have 7 different residence halls on campus. One style of housing is called a hotel style, so it's a design triple with the bathroom in the room. The other is called corridor style, so you would be in a double with one other roommate, and there are large bathrooms in the center of the floor. Typically, each wing of each floor is separated by gender. However, we also have several gender-inclusive housing communities. So 25% may not feel like a lot of students that live on campus, but that actually is about 1,300 students. And as a smaller liberal arts university, what's very common is juniors and seniors move off campus together. We actually find that our residential population is about 50% of our freshman and sophomore classes. We then there are a lot of apartment complexes and affordable housing in neighboring areas that students want to move into together. And we have an office of off-campus living to help our students with that. And so maybe, you know, these students are not all directly living on campus, but within 10 or 15 minutes, there's over 50% of our student body that are nearby, still coming to campus on the weekends, still utilizing resources, still hanging out, attending events. So you'll know where to find your friends no matter what. So hopefully you still want to apply to Adelphi. And so to go over our application requirements, you will of course need a completed application with your college essay. We accept the Common App. We also have an Adelphi application on our website. So if you want to apply quickly and you're not using the Common Application, you're welcome to go to adelphi.edu and click Apply Now. Otherwise, I always highly recommend the Common App. I know it makes a lot of students' lives a lot easier, and it's certainly easy for us to read. So there's no preference either way. Just fill out an application. Additionally, there's nothing that has to be extra special about your essay for Adelphi in particular. Your standard college essay is fine. Just remember that you should be proofreading your essay. You should be making sure that it makes sense for content and that we're going to learn something about you. This essay is about you, and it's your chance to shine and tell us more. So don't spend too much time talking about a different topic. Talk about you, or tell us a story. We will need an official high school transcript. What we're actually looking at for first-year students is a cumulative GPA through your junior year of high school. As you can see on the other part of our slide with our deadlines, by the time you'll probably apply, you won't have senior grades available. So it's not to say we wouldn't look at them later if need be. Sometimes we will ask for those. But for the most part, we're looking at your high school grades of your freshman year, sophomore year, junior year. And you're not just that one GPA. We are looking at your grade trend. We're looking at how you've grown from freshman to sophomore to junior year. We're looking at your core subject GPAs. So maybe you're not the best writer, but all of your math grades are really, really strong. We would absolutely take that into account. On average, we are seeing about a 3.5 GPA, which for us equates to an 88 out of 100. Now, for the first time this year, we are officially test optional. Additionally, we will likely continue to be test optional, but the way we review, this is a first-time pilot year for us, so more details to come about future years, of course. But for this year, we are test optional. You are absolutely able to submit your application and request to be reviewed without test scores. You will not be penalized in any way. We will not limit the scholarship you can qualify for. We will not limit acceptances or anything. You will be reviewed similarly to our normal review process in a very holistic fashion. If you do choose to submit test scores, on average, we would see about an 1160 on the SATs or a 24 on the ACTs. So again, those were all the middle ballpark numbers they gave you. We look at everything. You don't need to hit those numbers. We've certainly accepted lower than that. We've certainly accepted higher than that. So it's a holistic process. We want to see that you're challenging yourself. We'll look at the rigor of your curriculum as well. We want to see some challenging coursework. Send us a resume too. Let us know what you're doing outside of the classroom or fill out an activity sheet. It's really important for us to get to know who you are. The last thing that we would ask for, and this will help too, are letters of recommendation. We technically only require one letter. However, you are welcome to send more than one letter of rec. My recommendation to you, though, is if you are sending 2 or more letters, don't send us 2 English teachers. You know, maybe even not 2 teachers in general. If it is 2 teachers, try and make them very different subjects so they can speak to different aspects about you. Or maybe 1 teacher and then 1 coach, or a teacher and a guidance counselor, or someone who can speak to who you are inside the classroom and then someone who can speak to who you are outside the classroom. You know, it's definitely frustrating to try and fit so many aspects of yourself in about 15 pages. So the more you can do to give us a well-rounded picture of you, the better. So some deadlines. We are rolling admissions. That means we are constantly accepting applications, and we, starting in about a month, we will constantly be releasing decisions. We also have an early action deadline. That deadline is December 1st. If you apply to us by December 1st, you are guaranteed a decision by January 1st. With our rolling admissions, though, we are promising a 4-week turnaround, starting once we review applications for the first time this season, which for us is in about a month. If you apply to Adelphi by December 15th, you will receive a decision by January 15th. My personal recommendation to you is to try and apply to us by January 1st. We will still absolutely accept applications after that. March 1st is the suggested priority deadline. We have accepted applications after that in the past. The reason why I suggest January 1st to you is that would guarantee a decision from us by February 1st. That would guarantee scholarship information, which are considered for automatically, from us by February 1st. And as long as you fill out your FAFSA, which is now available today, if you fill that out too, you will get a financial aid package within a week or 2 of your decision. That will give you about 2.5, 3 months to, at a much more relaxed pace, make your decision about where you want to attend college. We know how stressful this can be. We know there's a lot that you need to consider. And May 1st is still a pretty standard deadline that a lot of colleges are asking for you to make a commitment by. So rather than not get any information about your acceptances and scholarship until April, applying earlier will help you get that information earlier, will help you figure out ways to engage virtually. If it's possible within 6 months from now that you can come visit, maybe you want to come visit and check out Canvas for yourself. All of these things you're going to want time to plan. So I mentioned automatic scholarship consideration. I think that's huge for you all. The fact that you don't have to do anything extra just to be considered for and earn academic merit scholarships. We are a private institution, so our tuition this year is $41,000 a year, and with room and board, it's estimated around $56,000 a year. The thing is, at a private school, we do offer a lot of academic merit scholarship to help accommodate that cost. These scholarships are actually ranging from $10,000 to $28,000, which is a lot of money, and it's a flexible scale. And again, it's not just those numbers. You can get the full amount of scholarship or the maximum amount of scholarship if you apply test optional. So you don't have to worry about that at all. We look at a combination of either test scores or just rigor of your curriculum and your GPA. We'll probably add in some other factors from your rec letter and your resume as well, but we will have a holistic approach to how we award scholarship. Additionally, a lot of students are achieving financial aid as well. There is, of course, federal aid, but Adelphi has many grants and loan opportunities too. So the fact that 94% of our undergraduate students are receiving some kind of financial aid and 87% of our full-time undergraduates are receiving scholarships, it's huge. You're not, you shouldn't have to worry too much about having to pay the whole thing out of pocket. And in fact, if you are worried, I highly recommend that you go to our website and check out our net price calculator. It's a tool that you can use that will help estimate what your price for tuition might be after scholarships, after some financial aid opportunities would be applied. So this is a rendition of our university center. It is currently undergoing some major renovations, and I think this is a really big deal too, because this is the center for student life, and it was really a commitment to Adelphi that Adelphi is making to its students, showing that we know we have students here who are utilizing our resources, who want to hang out, who want to enjoy campus life. So we needed to make sure that the main place to do that is as up to date and beautiful as possible. And actually, renovations are almost finished. They have actually been on schedule this whole time, even through the pandemic. So we're really excited at how far it's come along. We have expanded this building. We will have brand new large event ballroom spaces in this building, plenty of club meeting rooms, plenty of student organization office spaces, as well as some classroom space. Our food court is here. I am personally excited about the full franchise Starbucks that will now be on campus, not just the We Brew Starbucks coffee, but a franchise location. And you are seeing in this rendition the outdoor seating and the outdoor amphitheater seating. So we're really excited about what that could add to Adelphi's student culture too, because we can have outdoor movie nights. We can have some guest lectures. And even as we start transitioning out of the pandemic and the socially distanced nature, we will be able to have some fun events outdoors in a socially distant theater, which will be really, really great for our students who are missing that interaction in some way. So definitely come visit us. We actually have a lot of virtual visit opportunities, whether it's a virtual tour, our virtual open house, or if you are able to find yourself coming to New York, we do offer one-on-one and self-guided tours during the week. So I'd like to wrap up our presentation talking about Adelphi and some ranking guides and how really everyone's talking about Adelphi, that we are a college of distinction, that we are ranked in a best college, but rankings can be overwhelming, and truthfully, the most important ranking out there is yours. We want to make sure that you feel like you fit here and we're a fit for you. That if you do come to Adelphi, you come here because it's your choice. So I am happy to open it up to questions now. Feel free to type them in the Q&A portion of the chat. And while we do that though, I'm just gonna leave the contact information up here so that there's plenty of time to write that down. This is our number. You're welcome to call us. You're welcome to email us at admissions@adelphi.edu. Of course, also, you can find us on social media. And that's it.
Okay. We do have a question. Do you have a journalism or communications program?
Yeah, so we have a communications major with four different concentrations in it, one of which is journalism. We also have a social media concentration. We have a public relations concentration. And then our film department is actually housed under the communications department because it is more about like media production and kind of putting it out there. So it relates very similarly to the public relations piece. I think it's really important that we have social media classes as well, because so much of journalism, if not all of it at this point, is moved to being online. So knowing how to engage with your reader base on social media is going to be huge if you want to become a journalist. It's a great question. Anything else you all would like to know about?
I have a question. Would that be
Sure.
all right?
Yeah.
Do you know what the average apartment housing costs are off campus in the area right around campus?
I don't know offhand. I know that it's kind of competitive. I think our like living on campus prices are competitive to the apartment costs. However, again, it's really up to what the student does. Some students are sharing locations that, you know, most are listed as a one bedroom, but they're still used to having a roommate, so they're sharing. Um, but, you know, I think it fluctuates quite a bit. So I don't know the average cost off the top of my head.
Are students guaranteed California for 3 years if they're coming from California?
So coming from California, yes.
Okay.
We technically don't guarantee it. However, we do 100% prioritize far away students. So students coming from California would be prioritized over everyone else. And basically any student coming from out of state will be given priority housing. Great questions for sure.
Do we have any other questions from our students, parents? Okay.
Could also be about maybe the college process in general or anything that you've been kind of going over. Happy to just weigh in while you have an admissions counselor here in front of you. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Really appreciate your time, or rather this afternoon for you all. It's almost 8 o'clock for me. But yeah, thank you so much.
Okay. Well, we have a few people still on. So I have one more question for you, Michael, before we have the room for a few more minutes.
Sure.
The process to join the Bridges program, is that something that students and counselors can find easily on the website? Is that something that we should, could you give
Yes.
an overview of that?
Happily. So Bridges to Adelphi, you should, I believe the link is just bridges.adelphi.edu. And it is a fairly easy process. For Bridges though, you would have to be academically eligible to the university. And then you would be contacting the Bridges program and speaking with the director, and there is usually an interview process, but they're conducting that virtually right now for sure. And even for those out-of-state students, they've been doing kind of phone interviews for a while. Honestly, it's a really fantastic program. It's very much ahead of a lot of things, a lot of similar programs right now. We were the first university to have a full audio sensory room on campus, which is really cool, and I would love to spend time there. But yeah, like, just a fantastic like break room for students who may need it, who may need to just go in and sit on something soft, or you know, I think they had like bubbles on the wall, things to just kind of stare at, and just space to be and not worry about being interrupted in the middle of a very busy student center. At the same time, another really strong thing about the program is that all students in the Bridges program are partnered with student mentors. So it's actually very popular amongst our psychology students, but it's open to all. There are usually upper level junior or senior students who volunteer to be a student mentor with a Bridges student. And so it really helps that they get to learn to engage a little more and have that friend to interact with.
That's great. Good. And the personnel that work one-on-one with the students, they're trained, maybe have their master's degree in
at minimum ed. Like, so that's like an additional thing, the student matchup. Any student in the Bridges program is meeting at least on a weekly basis with master's level professionals or higher. working on that socialization support, checking in on, listen, the transition to college is overwhelming for anyone, let alone someone with a type of learning difference, that we want to make sure that you're doing okay. So they're checking in with usually a social worker, at least on a weekly basis.
That's great. That's great. Good stuff. Okay. Well, I guess we will be done and let you finish up and
Yeah, I think we're good. I think I would just reiterate one last point of, if anyone watching this recording has questions, we are super available. The email's right here. Please shoot us an email. You're welcome to call our office as well. Even though we're working remotely right now, that line is being forwarded live to our receptionists. So you will get through to a person. It's not just going to a voicemail. And we're here to help.
well, okay. Very nice, very nice. Well, I think it's just you and I now, so.
It is just us.
Yeah, okay. Well, I so want to come out and tour the school. I just, I have my whole East Coast tour ready to go and something.
Well, whenever you're ready to come on out, let us know.
We can do one-on-one, right?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're, we have a lot of families are actually taking us up on it, because we're doing a pretty good job with the safety features too. You are, of course, required to wear a mask. Every family is asked to fill out a screener, just making sure that you have at least not knowingly come into contact or displayed any symptoms. There are actually temperature checkers on campus too, so you're not required to do that, but if you feel like you need to, it's there. And yeah, you have the opportunity to have a one-on-one with one of our current tour guides, or really like one family to one tour guide. So and you're actually, some families are large, but we're trying to cap it right now to no more than 3 guests to accompany a student. So it would be 4 maximum.
And if I am able to get this arranged and come out, would I be able to coordinate with the Bridges, the Disability Services Office through you, or just call them separately, or what's the best way?
I think start through us. We can absolutely, we connect a lot of students have done both in the past. In the virtual landscape, it's obviously a little harder. So we will certainly try to see if they're available to meet with y'all. We are soon going to be meeting with people in our offices too. Socially distant, we have screens set up for that as well. So I know it's crazy where we're going. Yeah. But definitely, Bridges has always been so wonderful, and they know, like, these are unique situations that can be difficult to manage. So they've always been great at talking with prospective families and explaining the whole process to them. So they'd be more than happy to sit down with you as well.
Cool. Yeah, I have seen so many of my students do want to go far away, just like everyone else. Just like everyone else. But it's challenging for the parents to come to that. It's a long way away from California if something happens. So
it is a lot. We do have Bridges students that live on campus. We do. We've tried in the past to match them with another Bridges student if compatible, just so that they have a roommate who understands. And it can be challenging to be randomly paired with someone. Not that we have mean students, but more that everyone's needs are different. So
absolutely, yeah. I just watched the documentary Autism Goes to College. I don't know if you would have a need to see that, but
I haven't seen it yet.
One of the young men talks about he's been rotating through roommates, and bless his heart, you just want to cry. But he does his thing, and he hasn't found one that has stuck with them yet. So, but,
Yeah, but it can be challenging, especially if you don't if the other person doesn't know ahead of time either. You know, both. Like, you kind of want to know. In general, our roommate matching process does a lot of that. We try and either help you meet people through orientation or an accepted student event. Otherwise, there are some questionnaires that try and help match you with people who at least have similar um, interests and living styles, like being a morning person or not being a morning person, or studying with music. And, you know, they're trying to at least eliminate some of that. There are certainly, you know, every building has several RAs in it that will help with, you know, roommate counseling if needed, or not counseling, but, you know, settling those kind of agreements. Yeah.
Well, good. All right. Well, thank you, sir. I hope you get some really good leads after.
Yeah, my pleasure. It's always, I think this was great. Couple of students hopefully got a great session. Definitely had some people responding, so that's always helpful. It was really lovely chatting with you and meeting you, and I'm sure we'll be in touch soon.
I hope so. Thank you, Michael.
You too.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.